This video is brought to you by the Deck of Many and Humblewood.net. Welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. I'm Theo, and today we have a new set of spell effects from WizKids. This is Mighty Conjurations. Thank you to WizKids for sending us this to preview. The set is scheduled for release on February 12th, 2020. To see our review of the previous sets of spell effects from WizKids, click the eye in the corner of the screen. This set will release alongside another called Halaster's Tumultuous Templates. We'll have our video of that out in the coming days. If it's available now when you're watching this, you can see it by clicking again the eye in the corner of the screen. Let's go ahead and open this set up and see what magical manifestations we have inside. Create Bonfire is a cantrip available to druids, sorcerers, warlocks, wizards, and artificers. As its name implies, it can create a 5-foot bonfire on the ground within range that lasts for 1 minute as long as concentration is being maintained. It also deals damage to creatures in its space. The damage increases at higher levels. It can also catch items on fire that aren't being worn or carried. The bonfire is actually hollow, so you can fit a little LED underneath it if you want to have some lighting effects. Unfortunately, the Create Marshmallow spell wasn't included in this set. If you like your fire to be more potent, mobile, and ball-shaped, Flaming Sphere is a second-level druid or wizard spell. It creates a 5-foot diameter flaming sphere within range that also lasts a minute with concentration. You can use a bonus action to move the sphere, ramming it into creatures, moving over small objects, or even having it leap over 10 feet long holes in the ground. It deals more damage when cast with higher-level spell slots. Rope Trick is a second-level wizard or artificer spell. It's strictly BYO rope. When you cast your spell on your trusty rope, one end will rise into the air, letting the rest of it hang down, ready for climbing. At the top of the rope is an extra-dimensional space that lasts as long as the spell does, which is 1 hour. It can hold up to 8 medium or smaller creatures. It provides a safe space to hide until danger passes. And you can safely pull the rope up and out of sight. The rope actually has the texture of a rope, and it's a little bit flexible. Healing Spirit is a rather controversial spell introduced in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It's a second-level druid or ranger spell that lasts for 1 minute with concentration. It allows you to summon a nature spirit, here in either fey or beast form, that heals you and your allies. You can move through its space to heal 1d6 hit points, or more if cast at higher levels. The problem is that out of combat, you can gain a ton of healing by cuddling up with the spirit since it remains there for a minute. The suggested fix from Jeremy Crawford, if the spell feels too strong for you, is limiting the number of times it's able to heal to an amount equal to twice your spellcasting ability modifier. Maximilian's Earthen Grasp is a second-level sorcerer or wizard spell that creates a stone hand, or cat's claw, that can bludgeon and restrain your foes. The hand requires concentration and lasts for a minute. You can use your action to redirect and move your hand to another target. Mordenkainen's Sword is a 7th-level bard or wizard spell that summons a sword-shaped plane of force that, again, lasts for a minute with concentration. You can use a bonus action on each of your turns to move the sword and attack foes. It deals 3d10 force damage per attack. Arcane Eye is a 4th-level wizard or artificer spell. It creates an invisible magical eye that can see in every direction out to 30 feet. It transmits that visual information to the caster no matter how far away he or she is, as long as they remain on the same plane. The caster can use an action to move the eye. It lasts for up to an hour with concentration. Guardian of Faith is a 4th-level cleric spell that creates a large spectral guardian near you. It's supposed to be fairly indistinct, but carries a sword and shield. It delivers radiant damage to any hostile creature that comes within 10 feet of it. The guardian lasts for 8 hours, or until it's dealt a total of 60 points of damage. It cannot be moved. Leomund's Tiny Hut is a 3rd-level bard or wizard spell that creates a 20-foot diameter immobile dome of force that lasts for 8 hours. Up to 9 medium or smaller creatures can fit inside with the caster to stay safe. The included mini is roughly the correct size, though you aren't likely to fit 9 minis under it. For an interesting party game, section off a 20-foot square in your living room and see how many people are able to stay inside it for 8 hours. Force Cage is a 7th level bard, warlock, or wizard spell that creates an immobile, invisible, cube-shaped prison composed of magical force. It can either be a cage or a solid box, as the caster chooses. If it's in the shape of a cage, it can be up to 20 feet on one side. The included cage is indeed 4x4. If it's in the shape of a solid box, it can be up to 10 feet on a side, and will also block spell effects. And again, the box here is indeed 2x2. Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound is a 4th level wizard or artificer spell that, as you might imagine, summons a phantom watchdog that hangs out for 8 hours before going poof. It's invisible to everyone but you and can't be harmed. But when anyone comes near who doesn't know the password, it starts barking loudly. It can see invisible creatures and can see into the ethereal plane, but it ignores all illusions. Your faithful Fido will bite anyone hostile to you, dealing a fairly significant amount of damage. It does not require concentration. Leomund's Secret Chest is a 4th level wizard or artificer spell that requires an exquisite chest worth 5,000 gold pieces, and a tiny replica worth 50 gold pieces. It allows you to hide the chest and everything inside on the ethereal plane. It can contain up to 12 cubic feet of non-living material. You can summon the chest back by using an action and touching your little replica chest. You can send it back with an action. After 60 days, the spell starts losing potency and may end. It also ends if the smaller replica chest is destroyed. If the spell ends with the chest in the ethereal plane, it and all its contents are lost. The chest has a functional hinge and can be opened and closed. Bones of the Earth is a 6th level druid spell. It summons up to 6 pillars of stone out of the ground that are 5 feet in diameter and 30 feet high. The pillars can be destroyed. The pillars will lift up creatures into the air if they're standing in the right spots when the pillars are created. Unwilling creatures get a save to hop off. If the ceiling is less than 30 feet high, the pillars will crush the creatures they're lifting, dealing 6d6 damage and restraining them. You can create more pillars by using higher level spell slots. This set comes with 6 pillars. The pillars are all identical. They're 2 inches tall, so they appear on the board to be about 10 feet tall instead of 30 feet. They have an uneven top, so you can balance a mini on them, but it's pretty precarious. Dancing Lights is a classic bard, sorcerer, wizard, and artificer cantrip that sends up to 4 glowing orbs of light that can be sent in different directions to light up a room. The lights have to stay relatively close to each other, within 20 feet, or they get snuffed out. You can also form the lights to look like a glowing, vaguely humanoid figure. The lights stick around for 1 minute with concentration. It's a great spell for dark caverns or raves. I love having these spell effects to help visualize the location of objects on the map, and to help casters remember that they have certain spells they need to concentrate on. I almost wish the concentration spell effects had a different base color. This is one of those sets that is great for a DM to have, but may also be something that caster players may want to pick up. It's just satisfying to cast spells and see them on the battle map. It's also great that the spell effects are roughly the correct size on your standard battle map, where a 1-inch square represents 5 feet of space. Let me know in the comments section down below what other spells would benefit from having a spell effect mini. Again, this set is scheduled for release on February 12th, so if you like it, you don't have long to wait. I want to thank WizKids again for sending us this early review set. I also want to thank our sponsor for this video, the Deck of Many. I've been poring over our copy of Humblewood this week, and I just want to tell you about some of the neat details in there. But first, in case you're new around here, Humblewood is a new campaign setting book for 5th edition D&D. It introduces 10 new playable races, each of which is based on a different bird or animal. One neat feature of Humblewood is the conversion guide at the end of the book. It allows you to take your pre-existing NPC characters, perhaps from another campaign or setting, and adapt them to the Humblewood setting by applying race and subrace templates. So, if you have a story, campaign, or one-shot that would work beautifully using Humblewood as your setting, this guide will help you adapt it. Easily turn your feisty tavern keeper into an adorable scruffy owl. Learn more about Humblewood and pick up your copy today at humblewood.net. Thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch to the end. Click the little like button down below and leave us comments. Those little things that you do help us keep making videos. Stay tuned for our review of the other spell effects set that was released alongside this one, Halaster's Tumultuous Templates, coming to your video feed very soon. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.